Hey, it's Rich, A-OK Knives. Today I got a gem. Alright, so when I was a kid, and that was a while ago, I'm 53. Okay, so I'm going to say 47 years ago. No, I would have been 6. Man, I'm good at math, but when you put me under pressure like this, I'm no bueno. No bueno, no marrow. Yeah, so, and I like to act like I speak Spanish because I know the word bueno. I love that word. It's a great word. No bueno. Bueno. Bueno, no bueno. Okay, enough of that crap. All right, listen. I was going through my junk drawer and came across a Swiss Army Victorinox knife that I had. Little puppy. Look at this little puppy. Let's get it up close. Okay, so I think people overlook these knives quite a bit, and they've forgotten the fact that they are incredible. These people that engineer these knives are just geniuses. They are mad geniuses. They sit in a room and they say, okay, Steve, Bill, Frank, Dorothy, we're going to figure out how we can jam pack about 25, 30, no, 50 tools into a little thing. And not only do that, but we're going to make it with quality tool metal. We're going to make them quality. We're going to make them to where they work and they don't break and whatever. So they got the, like I said, I was a kid, so let's say 1982, I was 12, and I probably had a bigger version of this. And it was cool then, but you get older and you decide, here, this one's red just like this one. You decide that you're a man, you're cool, you're tough, you don't need all that. You start buying a bunch of tools, they start collecting in your garage, and you just say, all I need is my Kaiser chili pepper, just a blade, a knife, and nothing fancy. It's fancy. I love this knife. This knife is so cool. But you think that's all you need. And sometimes that may be all you need. And up until maybe a week ago, I found this, and I decided maybe I need more. And I found this little puppy, and I'm stoked. So I open it up. It's a nail nick slip joint knife, and it's got this drop point blade that's super, super sharp. It's just a little tiny little blade. Look at my finger. My tip of my finger is bigger than the blade. But it's sharp, and it'll cut something that you need cut. Then it has another item, which is like a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, file. That's cool. People need files. But then it gets better, guys. With these knives, it always gets better. It's crazy. So it's got these little cute scissors. Look at these cute little puppies. Let me find something to cut for you. Okay. We're going to cut this. They cut. And they cut good. Like crazy good. I used them the other day to cut something that I was working on. Paracord. I cut a little piece of paracord off. A tip of paracord off of a lanyard I was putting on a knife. It was actually my old Spyderco that I had. And I trimmed the little edges of that with my Victorinox Swiss Army keychain knife. Right? So, okay. Yeah, Rich, we all know that these things do that. Big deal. So I'm looking it over. I don't know anything about this knife. I got this from a friend of mine a long time ago. And there was a couple other little things that came with it. Not with this, but my buddy gave me. And I'm looking at this thing, and it's got this little gray thing on the side here. I'm like, what is that? And you can tell that it has the ability to go this way, over this way, and down that. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna open that. I'm gonna check it out. Look, what's going on here? What is that? Okay, so I'm like, what is this thing? I pull. I'm like, oh, because I'm used to like these knives typically have like tweezers or a toothpick right there in that little area. So now I'm like, okay, it's like a little metal rod. It's got like a brass thing on the end too. I don't know what that's for, right? So I put it back in there. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And it kind of like snaps back in, and then you can lower it back down. I'm like, oh wow, okay. So I don't know what that is. What do I do with that? And then I'm like looking at it further. And I'm like, look, where that thing came out across from it on the other side right there, it looks like a flashlight. So I start, these things are like little mystery boxes. What do they call those? They call those little things. They're like a cube, and you push, pull, turn, twist, and it does all these crazy little things. That's what these little Swiss Army victorinox knives are. Like I said, they lock these engineers in a room and probably like feed them Snicker bars. So you got all these engineers in this room jacked up on Snickers, sugar, chocolate, peanutty goodness. And they're just the king size Snickers. My favorite. Put them in the freezer. Good stuff. All right, so that's all they're eating is Snickers and bottled water. And not the good bottled water. They're not getting Fiji, even though they got the budget for it. So these guys are drinking like Aquafina. I don't know if that's good or bad. Aquafina bottled water and Snickers. So they wait like 2 days. They're sleeping on the floor. It's a conference room, right? And they got a whiteboard. And they said, you're not leaving this room until you invent something. And they show them just the size of the knife, this. And they say, you got to pack about 7, 8 things into this thing. And they got to be really cool. Good tool material, tools that work. And let's throw in some mystery for our customers. So you got Dorothy in there. You got Frank. You got Billy. You got Tom. You got Sarah. You got Connie. They went to Purdue. They went to I don't know. They went to Georgia Tech. They went to Texas A&M. They went to school. Okay? But they're not used to this pressure. So they're in this room. It's bald energy. Just like 6, 7 engineers. There's like 4 ladies, 3 dudes. And they're like, we got to do this. Give me another Snickers. That was Frank. Now, Connie, she's a little bit more calm. She says, listen, Frank, you're going to have to take it easy. The rations are getting low. We don't know how long we're going to be in here. Last time, I was stuck in this room for about 3 weeks. It was awful. They can't even take a shower. They're sleeping on the floor. It's like I said, a conference room with a whiteboard, a big table. Chairs are kind of comfortable, so they'll sleep in the chairs. But most of them want to spread out and lay on the floor. Okay, enough about that. These engineers are under some serious pressure, and they create magnificence. Really, truly. Okay, so when I was a little kid, yeah, it was great. It was cool. I had a bigger one. It had about 100 tools in it, and I never used tools when I was a kid. So really, it just went like that, right? So now, I'm older. I'm 53. I get this little piece of heaven, and I'm like so excited. And I'm talking, I'm real excited. I'm really excited. Like I am not faking it. Can you see? Look at these eyes. Look at those eyes. Serious business. All right. So now I find that little thing. I'm like, okay, big deal. So I look at that other hole and I'm like, that looks like a flashlight. Now I'm like, but there's no button. They put the button in the logo. Logo, button, flashlight. Holy crap. I got a flashlight. I got scissors. I got a drop point blade. I got a file. I got a flathead screwdriver. And I got a little metal rod thing that comes with this little thing. And I still don't know what that is. Now I'm blown away. I got to stop. I put the knife down. I go take a nap. Sometimes you got to recharge. You got to take a nap. You got to get something to eat. You got to do something. I do those 2 things. I eat and I take naps. And then I come out and I'm like, do some calisthenics, some knife fighting calisthenics, and I picked this puppy back up. Now I got this puppy in my hand, and I'm like, I'm gonna figure out what that little rod is, because it's not a toothpick, it's not tweezers, it's not a knife fighting device. You could probably poke somebody in the eye with it, you know, right? So look, slide it. All right. Now I pull this thing out. I look at it. I'm like, okay. What else? What else is on this knife that I gotta figure out? I see a hole. Yeah. That hole's got my head going, what did Connie do? What did Sarah do? What did Frank do? What did you guys do in that room? Some crazy shit must have really went down in that room. So I take this thing, and I'm going to push it in that hole. Hello? Hello? See that little red thing? Now I'm like, what is that? What are we dealing with here? I pull that thing out. So now I use that little tool to pull that out. This little red piece comes out. See that little red piece? It comes out. I set that over there so I don't lose it. And inside there is the battery for that flashlight. So now I'm like, okay. Now I think I know what this brass thing is on the end. I think I need to just now use that to push the battery out. And I think that's what that's for. To pry that battery out. Okay, I can't get it out. I'll figure that out some other time. So now I'm like, okay, so what's the pointy thing for? And I go to check it and see, is it sharp? Whatever, I put my finger on it. I'm like, that's not doing anything. Right? Look at my finger. It's a ballpoint pen. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. It's a ballpoint pen. Holy smokes. So all you EDC guys out there, and you got your fancy, expensive, what am I looking for? I'm looking for something. You got your fancy, expensive pouch, your little thing, and you got your titanium pen, and you got your titanium knife, and you got your titanium wallet, and you got your titanium scissors, and you got your titanium, right? I got plastic, and I got steel, you know, and this is like 20 bucks. And all I got to say to you EDC guys is, you know the one, you know who I'm talking about. You know the guy with about maybe $1,200 worth of titanium shit on your belt. Yeah. You guys are geeks. I mean that in the best way. Trust me, I mean that in the best way. Because I'm a geek. And if you call me a geek, I'm kind of like, yeah, man, I'm a geek. You got a fucking problem with that? Yeah, I said the F word. Probably shouldn't have, but I don't care. Because I'm a knife fighter. Yeah. And I love me some cool little stuff. Love them. I'm going to take my Victorinox. I think it's a mini champ kind of version thing. And I'm going to go to a knife fight with this. And I'm going to fight a guy with scissors. Just the scissors. I'm going to record it. And I'm going to show you a win. A knife fighting win. With mini champ 2-inch Victorinox scissors. Yeah. You saw it here. This knife, you saw this knife here. It's like 20 bucks, maybe a little more, because I can't find the one with the flashlight option. I found the mini champ, and it's got like a couple other tools in it that are kind of cool, but I can't find the one with the flashlight option. I'm going to salute Dorothy, Connie, Sarah, Frank, Billy, and Tom. I hope I got your names right. I hope I didn't leave anybody out. Because you guys, in your time, in that room, the 7 of you, you kick some butt. Just tip my hat. That is a knife fighter tip. Get one. Guard tip. You get the guard tip. Good job. Good job, Victorinox. Good job, Swiss Army. Good job, Connie. Sarah. I think Beth was in there. Dorothy. Frank. Bill and Tom. Good job. That's a really cool little knife. Tool thing. Get you some. Deuces.